Hey everybody, this is Ashley and I'm back live. I'm sorry I was not live for so long, but I'm going to show you kind of what I was doing. But hello to all of those of you who are new, and thanks for coming. Thanks for checking out my channel. And today we're going to talk about A+ content and marketing your books, and a way really to make your brand, your books stand out, and just make your books more enticing to customers. Because I'm a huge believer, if you guys have watched my channel, oh, by the way, my channel is all about making money online, mostly with Kindle Direct Publishing. I'm Ashley Schmidt, and we're going to talk about that. So, A+ content marketing. If you like and subscribe to my channel, I always forget to say that, please. So we're going to talk about A+ content marketing. And you know that I'm a huge believer in, if you really want this to be a business, you should treat it as a business. You should try and create a brand. Now, when you're first starting out, maybe it's just publishing some books to see what you like, what you don't like, how you want to run your business, what you want to focus on. But once you kind of get your feet under you and you've done that, if you want to make money, you need to really build that brand. Now, the A+ content marketing is the way to do that. It is a way to go past that look inside feature that I know everyone complains is or isn't there. I don't worry about it. It's not something I can control. It's not something I can do anything about. So, I just focus on what I can do something about, which is make great quality books so that eventually, hopefully, people review my book. And a lot of my customers actually because I put a lot of effort into a lot of my activity books and things like that, people put pictures that they've taken. And so, that helps. But this is a way that you can provide information about your brand and just look more professional. The more professional you look, the more likely someone is going to buy your book. Okay, so hi Micah, and hey Danjama. Did I do that right? Probably not. I tried, but I was terrible at pronunciation in English. It was like the one subject I was just absolutely terrible at. Okay, so why haven't I been live? I wanted to show you why I haven't been live. My family and I took this crazy, it ended up being like 8 weeks, not even 6 weeks, 7 weeks. How long was I gone? Adventure. So I'm going to show you a quick photos, and I'm going to do a little bit of stuff just so you kind of can see the power of this business. The one thing I do love about this business, about running KDP, is I didn't really do anything with my business. I didn't really do with my ads. I didn't do anything. And I still made money this month. And I'll do my income report in a later thing. And even though it wasn't my best month by far, I didn't do anything. I didn't fiddle with my ads. I didn't do anything. And I still made money, but I still got to hang out and have that life of freedom that I want with my family. Like, I didn't have to worry about my KDP. Yeah, it wasn't the best sales month. I didn't put effort into it, but that's okay because, it's my business and that's how I run my business. Okay, so I'm going to show you my photos. Sorry, this is like photo sherry time, but let me share my screen and just show you a few things. It'll be real quick, just so you can see kind of the crazy things you can do in this world. Okay. And then if you know me, maybe you'll just enjoy seeing crazy stuff. So we went to Maine and saw trolls. This was really cool. It was in a botanical garden, and they have these giant, you can see like this troll's wrapped around that, that huge tree right there. I'm going to go, I think I have to click. Okay. So here's another one. This was my favorite one because I just thought he was fun. I mean, they're giant. Like, I'm the size of the foot, right? This is Maine, the coast of Maine. So we did this camping trip. It was like, what state didn't we go to? To New York, Pennsylvania. We spent a few days in Maine. We went to Michigan. My daughter learned to water ski. So that's her looking at us like, really? Why are you making me do this? So then after that, we got on a plane and went to Ecuador. This is the Galapagos Islands. And you can see this really cool sea lion here and a rainbow. We went to, the Galapagos Islands. Hello from California, Bailey. And we hung out with a bunch of sea lions. We actually got to snorkel with sea lions. They were really cute and curious. They don't have they aren't scared of people there in the Galapagos. So they were like swimming with you and around you, and it was really fun. Let's see what else we do. Okay, real quick. Galapagos Island, blue-footed booby bird, like only place you can get it. And so this is my blue-footed booby bird picture. It was actually a pretty good one with mommy and baby. And baby was very hungry, and mommy was not was not happy with apparently daddy bluebird, who was supposed to come back with food. We explored caves. We did all sorts of crazy things. This is me on a Galapagos Island beach. See, I really was there. And who doesn't want to see a giant tortoise? So here's the giant tortoises. We went to the rainforest and hiked through the rainforest. That is my daughter experiencing rainforest waterfalls. She had a good time. The boots were not doing her a whole heck of a lot of good because they were just filled with water. Then, because, it wasn't fun enough, we just went to Machu Picchu, which is in Peru, and climbed up there. So this is Machu Picchu. This is me. See, I was there. And then because that wasn't fun enough, we had to hike Rainbow Mountain, which is at 16,300 feet. And my poor littlest ones, so our whole family, they were kind of done before we got to the top. My littlest got altitude sickness, and we literally had to piggyback her up the rest. My oldest daughter was so kind to do that because I was dragging my third or second youngest or whatever up the mountain, literally dragging her. And this is Rainbow Mountain, which apparently it's cool, and it's in Peru, and yeah, it's really high. Anyway, okay, so there was all my photos. So A+ content marketing. I just thought I'd show you that you can live whatever life you want, and you can do something crazy and insane. And I still made money this, 6-8 weeks, however long I was gone. So how awesome is that? I love what I do. I want you guys to love what you do. And I hope if you're into KDP, this is the channel for you, because I truly love what I do. Okay, so, oh wow, we have people from Morocco, and yes, Galapagos Islands was on my husband and I's bucket list. That was like the one thing. We were really excited. Okay, so there you go. Hey everybody who's live, I am happy to be live. You have a lot of pictures. Let's see, Hakmi, that's awesome. I like that name. I'm probably butchering it, but it's still nice. You have a lot of pictures from places you traveled. Micah, your sales have stopped. Yeah, you know what? Summer is rough. That is something I'm going to talk about in my income report. My worst months are always August, September, and October. It used to be January, and I kind of fixed my January sales. And I wanted to fix my summer, like the August, September sales, but I was gone on this trip. And so I haven't done a lot of creating. I did do a few creation stuff. I'm starting to create stuff for October, hoping that will maybe help September, because people will start buying like October items in September. So I've done some Halloween type items. I was thinking about doing some some beer stuff or something with Oktoberfest, because that will really, people will be buying in September for that. So I haven't done any of that, but that's kind of some of my goals to beef up my sales. So yes, the A content marketing, I think, is a great way to showcase your brand and showcase your stuff. That being said, you want it to look professional. So let's go over here. This is A+ content marketing. Okay, so what it is, you go to your bookshelf, you log in and you click over here on marketing. Right? There's a few ways to get in here, but this is kind of the easiest one. This is actually, it does say, do you want to do some examples? And so I have everything kind of set up because of live. It was a little slow, so I kind of have everything staged and set up on my board, so you don't have to watch my computer think. So this is where they have examples. Now I want to show you, so that's what it is. It's from the publisher, right? Look how awesome and professional this looks. It kind of sets the tone. They have a banner. Then she has kind of an author highlight. So you could do some sort of banner highlighting your brand or what you're about. Like if you're doing kids workbooks, or if you're doing sight words, or if you're doing different kinds of logbooks, you can kind of set like, if let's say you're doing yard maintenance type stuff or just maintenance stuff, you could set like a banner that was kind of maintenance-y, so people would get in the feel of what your brand is about. And then if you want, you could do this. Authors, it's more like if you were, fiction author or nonfiction author, this would be a better setup, but there's all these different setups. So you have all these modules, and I'll kind of show you, and you can set them up in different ways. These are setup examples. You can do timelines. So if you had a series of books, let's say you guys had a books series where it was like progressively harder math or something like that, then you could have those in order. Like you'd want to go through this math, this math, this math. This one I love because I'm a fiction author. Remember, I did women's fiction and romance. So I love this because it sets the tone. So that's the idea with this. You're trying to set the tone. Now, what you're marketing, your tone may be different. Obviously, this says, hello, romance, right? And if you were a romance reader, you would be like, this is my type of book, right? It sets it up. And you can see how simple it can be. This is kind of the catch, right? Anything you're trying to sell has to have a catch. With romance readers, you're trying to set up something like this. I'd spent my whole life standing still, and then I got in his car, and I think I knew even then that the greatest adventure of my life was about to begin. So that's kind of you setting you up for what the story would be. Now, what you're trying to market obviously isn't this sort of thing, but it's that same idea. What are you trying to market? Who are you trying to market to? This speaks to a romance reader. So you need to create your content to speak to your audience. Now, there's some other examples. You can do some comparison stuff. I think this is probably hard. And then the examples aren't as pretty. Okay, so how do you get here? Like I said, you go click the marketing tab, and it takes you right here. And then you go down here and you choose your marketplace. The UK, this is actually tied to your advertising account. So I actually have an advertising account in .com and .uk. So I can actually get to either an ad. And we're not sure yet if what you do like in the US would like eventually get to the UK market. It's kind of, we're not sure quite yet. But, do the market you're going to sell the most in. For me, it's the UK and .com, mostly .com, but I do have a few books that sell really well in the UK. Okay, so once you've clicked on that, you are going to see this page, and you're going to hit start creating A+ content. Okay, and then this will pop up, though these will be empty. It'll just say add a module. And why I wanted to show you this is I wanted to show you how you can move stuff around. So you pick these different modules, and I'll open it up in just a second. Hopefully my computer won't take forever to think, but it has all these different types of modules that you can set it up. And I thought this would be a good low content module. You have some sort of banner, and then you have like 3 different product pictures. And then you have to fill in the text. So you need to come up with some text. It doesn't have to be anything amazing, but some text. And you can move these around. So let's say you go, oh, I want to add something else. You could like move this up here. See how I move the modules? So that's how it's going to look. I'm going to move it back down here because I think a banner with 3 photos is pretty good. Now, there's other things to pick from. Hopefully this won't take, oh, good, it didn't take forever to load up. I was worried. These are all the different things you could pick. I think like these images and texts are good for what we're kind of trying to do, or something maybe like this. These are like variations, which doesn't really make sense for us. This might work. You have a picture and some details on the side, or some details this way and a picture on the side. And then here was that 3 content. So what I, like I said, liked was there's the banner, which was, where'd the banner go? I think it's cut off from where this is, but there's like a banner one that I don't know why it's not showing up. Anyway, it's still new, and so there is some glitches in this, I found. Things appear and disappear. Okay, so how do you create all this, right? I promised the tutorial, but I wanted to give you kind of the feel for it. How do you create this? I think Canva is a great way to do it. Okay, so here's Canva, and what I've done is I've created some of these already, and I'm going to kind of show you, but you just followed the size. Those 3 little pictures were 300 by 300 pixels, and then the banner one was 600 by 180. So let's show you this 600 and by 180 real quick. Oh, okay, there we go. So I created this example. This is not actually a book. I just created this just for you guys. And I put like what you could do. This would be a really simple way to do it. I do want to caution you, you want it to look, professional. You don't want it to look jumbled or unclean or just scattered. You want it to look professional, right? If you're going to put it out there, you should make it look good. So if you're going to do this on your books, do spend a little bit of time to make it look, somewhat professional. And that takes some time and eye. And this is not the greatest, and I'm sure I could improve as I go along. I actually did a few of these modules on books for 2021 that I know I'm going to have to redo in 2022 because I kind of wanted to practice. So I wasn't worried about my 2021 books. I still make sales on those, but obviously the sales are going to drop. So I've been trying to fiddle with this to practice on stuff that, I don't care about necessarily because I still want to make sales, but I want to kind of practice on it. So that's kind of my idea. And all I did was just take this little book. This was the cover, and I created it into a little book. And then I just took each of these pages and threw it out there so you can see what the pages are. Okay, let me see if I have questions. Okay. Tips, how we can get more sales in KDP. Yeah, there's lots of tips. I think the biggest thing is figure out what people are looking for and then give it to them. And like I said, the summer season is not the best. And into fall, the thing people are buying, there's the kind of the whole school supplies stuff or teacher or that sort of thing. That's what happens in September. But sales start to pick up a lot in October. So if you don't have a lot out there for September, at this point in time, I just start focusing on the Q4 stuff. So your big holidays are Halloween, Thanksgiving, or kind of that fall harvest time, and then anything gift related for Christmas or anything Christmas related. So you've got kind of the seasonal stuff that really will help sales pick up. So don't be too discouraged with KDP. Like I said, August, September, they're just low unless you really get into the back to school niche and you're really good at it. You'd think I'd be good at it, but apparently not. I haven't found my right niche for that yet. I do okay, but not great. Okay, the problem is when I try and make a mop-up, it doesn't look great. Some of these don't. So I do have a trick for you. See this pretty mock-up? I did not make this on Canva. Okay, I made it here. This is free. This DIY book design, super easy. Okay, if you just type in, I think it's just DIYbookcovers.com. Okay, it's DIY, sorry. DIYbookcovers.com. Okay, this is awesome. It's beautiful. It makes all these, it's free. It makes all these and they look fantastic. Super easy to use. You just pick your style. You upload a photo, then you download it. Super, super easy, and I love it. And it looks really good. Okay, so wrong one. Sorry. Okay, so I made this there. So I just took this. You can see this tiny one that was just a, square of my cover or rectangle of my cover. And then I did it on that DIY book cover, and I made this, and then I just uploaded it to Canva. Here it is. It's pretty. And then these are just the different pages. So that would give you kind of that banner look. So that would be something easy that you can probably, and that it looks good. You want to be an eye-catching color. This is kids, so I did it in yellow. I'm not really happy with this yellow, but it is eye-catching, so I might be okay with this. But this might be a simple way to start out to do something. Now, if you want to do those 3 different pages, let me actually start with this one. This is one I got from Canva, the mockups. And if it's going to load, I'm sorry. I tried to have these preloaded because sometimes it just, while I'm live, it just doesn't want to do anything. Okay, this one's going to show up. So this is one actually, I got a backdrop. So what I did for this is I just typed in desk into the different pictures, and I came up with this one. And you can't see the picture because it's not uploading, but it's one of my pages. It says the link is broken. But what I did is I just went to uploads, and here, I'll just delete this. So I took this desk picture, and I just took one of these pages. Image not found. It's just not going to do it while I'm live. But I just dropped in the page, or I dropped the page. It doesn't want to do it. but I just dropped in the page and then kind of made it and shaped it to be the right size. So it looked like it was sitting on there. Okay, and this was just a backdrop I got off of Canva. Now, there's other places to get backdrops. You can use Canva and the free stuff, or there's a lot of different other options. Creative Marketplace, Creative Fabrica has some mock-ups. Place It, I did want to talk about Place It. This is I don't want to say an expensive option, but it's definitely not a cheap option. But it is if you do a lot of it. So you can either buy one of these. It's really an awesome program. You just upload your pictures and it puts it right in there, and then you can download it. It is $8 if you just want to do one of them, which seems kind of expensive, but it's $15 for unlimited for a month. So you could, let's say, you're going to do a bunch of your books. You could buy it. It's, you don't have to, it's not a commitment. So you can buy it for a month or two, and then, stop the subscription and just get what you need for the month or two. And then maybe do that, 6 months later when you have a bunch of other stuff. So you can kind of batch it to kind of reduce your costs. So that's what I was actually thinking about doing, buying a month or two and fixing up some of my backlog of stuff that sells really well to make it pretty, because these are really professional and they're really easy and they look really good. And they have all these different ones. This was just what I typed in for coloring book mock-ups, but there's other types of mock-ups you can find as well. I just wanted to mention that. Okay. So I've given you some free options. I've given you some maybe not so free options. You can also look deposit photos. I've done and downloaded mock-ups from them. Like I said, Creative Market, Creative Fabrica, Canva has some. You could kind of make your own, though it might be harder or take time, but maybe that's worth it. So you just have to kind of decide what works for you. So you basically take those backgrounds, you plop them down, and you can add in your pages. And that's like the 3 different, these are just not going to load up because it's live. It just doesn't want to do it. Oh, this is one I actually got from Deposit Photos. You can't, darn it. That's what I get for trying to, let me see if I hit refresh, if it'll do that. But what I did for this one, I'll talk about it, is I actually got from Deposit Photos, I got a backdrop, and that I kind of liked. It didn't cost me much. It was like $1 or something, 50 cents. And then I kind of, basically, so you could kind of see the backdrop. It actually had a cat house here, but I didn't want to make someone think it was spiraled. So I kind of put the page like this. And then it had a little like coloring notebook behind it. So I decided to, say like something about my product, like 50 plus coloring pages, right? And then when you talked about your different, you have to talk about between each picture, you have to add details. You could talk about that sort of thing. So let's see. So that's the different ways. So how do you use all that? Like I said, you would go here, and then that banner, you just literally click on it and upload your picture, and you have to write something. It won't let you add until you've done it. So you add something. So let's go over here. I'm just going to download this real quick. JPEG, right? I'm going to download it. I should have done this before, but I forgot I hadn't done it. And I'm going to go, it's thinking. I'm going to go back over here. And I'm going to upload. Wait. Sorry, I didn't hit add. Where's my thing? Right there. Okay. All right. So I got my image in there. You have to describe it. You could say, coloring. Let's see. Animal coloring book for kids. 50 plus coloring pages, or whatever, your thing is. Add. Okay, it's not doing it probably because it's live and I haven't logged in recently because I had these all staged. But you just add it. And then you'll do the same for each one. So you just add your pictures, and then you're going to type in the headlines or anything you want, and then the text. So like I said, if you had 3 different pictures, you could 3 different like pictures of, 3 different pages. You could say, plus 50 coloring books. Coloring books promote, find some facts about coloring books and children, or whatever your particular topic is. Coloring promotes creativity for children. Or if you have an educational book, you could say, promotes sight word recognition for 2nd graders and helps them to, do better in school, or whatever. So what you want to do though, too, I should mention this, there are rules. So it says here, examples, A+ content, examples, and guidelines. Please read the guidelines. Don't post stuff without reading the guidelines, because you'll just get it rejected. In general, the guidelines say things like, you can't compare it really to other products. You're really just showcasing your product on Amazon. So they don't want you to do outside like your web. You could put your logo, like if you had a logo, but you can't put like abc.com, right? But you could put ABC products, right? So think of it like things that you have to describe your product truthfully without exaggeration. Like you can't say the best coloring book ever. No, because that's what they call exaggeration. So you could say a great coloring book for, right? And you say what it's for, like for kids with disabilities, for, large word print for seniors, whatever it is. You can describe your product, but you can't really exaggerate. You can't compare to someone else. It's really to showcase your product. So on Amazon, right? You don't want to, Amazon doesn't like you sending people away from Amazon. So if you kind of think of it that way, you're probably okay. But do read the guidelines. But that's kind of my general rule of thumb. If I am showcasing truthfully about my product on Amazon, then usually you're okay. You just got to worry about exaggerations. Like I said, you can't say like the best, the greatest, that sort of thing. That's qualifying. But if it says a great book for, that's usually okay, because it's not an exaggeration. It's just giving the customer an idea of what the book is for. Okay. Let's see. I think that was everything. Sorry I talk so fast, but I got a lot in there. Okay, let's see. Questions. Yeah, I know mock-ups with Canva, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. That's why I gave you kind of some options of different places to do mock-ups. I think this is amazing for brand building. I'm a proponent about brand building, and I think that if you get, 3, you could probably have a brand maybe of 20 books or something, but if you can get 5 of those books selling really well, that is such a great launching point. And if you can use this, you could, and the nice thing about it is if you make like what did I have? This one right here. Something you can also do is like this book, but then you could have some of your other books in the series, and you could say, ABC Publishing, and then you kind of have the different books lined up like this, so that they know that, there's other books that people, if they're interested, they can buy. And I think that's a great way to brand build. And that let people know about not only this product, like if they have eyes on this product, it is such an opportunity to let them know about other products you have, right? That is a fantastic opportunity. So if you can create a whole series of books, kind of publish them all at the same time, and then publish this kind of content for each one, then you're giving like the opportunity for them to see not only this book, but the other ones. Maybe they don't like this book exactly, but maybe they'll like one of the other ones. So it's kind of a great opportunity to, have your brand, your other books have an opportunity to shine in just one listing. And I think that's great. Okay, let's see. Red Zoni says, what example are you using to showcase one book? What if you're selling various types of books, such as notebooks, journals, planners? Like I said, okay, if you're going to do this book and then you want to showcase the rest of your books in a, like kind of not a series, but maybe the rest of it, books in your brand, I would probably have this one bigger and then have them a little bit smaller and then kind of pushed together as books. You can look at examples on Amazon, but what they usually do is they'll, put them together kind of closely and then say, the ABC, other ABC books available or something like that. Let's see. Yes, it is true. Place It and, I haven't heard of Book Brush. I haven't tried that one. But yes, Place It does look much better. But it costs something, right? The Smart Mockups is another good site. Okay, I haven't tried. No, I think I have seen Smart Mockups. I haven't tried it yet, though. It is frustrating when things don't work right. And I know I'm doing this live, and I created these because sometimes even live things are really slow. So I was just trying to show you different options and different ways to do it without taking a ton of your time. And if you guys are familiar with Canva, it's pretty drop. The one thing I do want to say is if you want to do something interesting with one of these, so like here, you can click on it. And then if you haven't seen this, effects, there's a lot of nifty things you can try with this effects. You can kind of change colorings. You can do the mock-ups. And like I said, some of the mock-ups are better than others. And then like you can see it's very, very tiny, but like there's book mock-ups. One of the ones I like that they just added was this drop shadow. I don't know if this will work. Let's see if it's going to work live. It drop shadows it. And sometimes it takes a while and it's really not pretty until it decides it's done. It's still fuzzy, but eventually it'll decide it's done doing its drop shadow. It's fuzzy, but when it finally decides it's not fuzzy and it pixelates, I don't know why it does this. I think it's because it's a new feature. I'm not sure. Eventually it'll look like it has just this shadow around it. But there, it finally did it. So you can kind of see. So you could do that for each one of these to make it look like it's a page and it looks a little more professional than this flat look. So that's something I wanted to show you guys. Okay. Do you have example of brands that you have seen with A+ content? You know what I actually did last night? I did a Google search last night and I put Amazon.com into Google and then put from the publisher because that's what, let's see, that's what this right here says at the top. See, it says from the publisher. So I just did a Google search and put Amazon.com into Google and then put, you know how you put quotes around things? So you put quotes around from the publisher. And then I looked at the images and I came up with stuff. You can also, what I actually recommend doing instead of looking at what low content publishers are doing, I would actually look at what fiction authors are doing. And in particular, romance writers or because romance writers are so creative. Okay. I know maybe it's not the same genre, but they're so creative and they do such a good job. So it's worth looking at what they do to kind of see how you could adapt that. The other one I would suggest is like educational workbooks. They probably are closer to what you're thinking for low content, even though educational workbooks has obviously more medium high content, but they're going to have the same kind of, factual flair that maybe you're looking for low content. But I just searched on Google and found images and kind of came up with some ideas. And what I thought would be easy for low content is kind of this banner with like 3 different pictures and a pages would be kind of the setup I would do. Okay. A+ content. There are about 7. Yeah, there's more videos about this. But I just looked at Google because Google is amazing. It's one of my best resources. A lot of people ask me questions. I'm like, I'm just going to Google that, right? Because Google does a lot of things. It's really great. Yeah, romance authors are great at promotional graphics. Yes. I was a romance writer and I'm still in a lot of romance writer groups. And I am telling you, those ladies, well, and there's a few gentlemen in my groups, are amazing. Romance writers, because there's such a huge audience. I'm a romance reader. I know, I'm terrible. But there's such a huge, voracious audience that they know they have to market to that voracious audience. And so they're so good and clever at capturing people's attention. And the great thing about romance writers is they know their audience. And so I think That's what's super important for you to do, is to understand your audience. I am a romance reader, so I understand completely when they're advertising to me why they're advertising the way they are, because I'm a romance reader. So flip it on its head for whatever audience you have. What does your audience want? Why do they want it? What problem does it solve? This A+ content is an opportunity for you to share with the person why your product is going to solve their problem, whether it's bored kids with a coloring book, right? Or they want to entertain them, or they're going somewhere. I love coloring books that are themed to certain places, because like if you're going to go on a trip somewhere, like if I looked for stuff for my kids for the Galapagos Island, nothing. There was nothing, right? Nothing out there. Now, that's probably not a huge market, but I can tell you, I would have bought it. If there was a coloring book about the Galapagos Islands, I would have bought it, but there wasn't. So, I think that's, if you can solve that person's problem, and you're showcasing here in this A+ content of how you're solving that person's problem, by displaying a few pictures of your items, giving them details, like there's 50, pages, or there's activity books, or what type of activities to include, and then you show a pictorial thing. It's really going to capture somebody's imagination so much better than the written word. Your description is great, but we all know people don't read descriptions. They like pictures. So this is that pictorial way to offer them insight into your product, even if they don't read the actual words. Like I just looked at these pictures of her and said, oh, paranormal romance. I got it, right? I didn't even read any of this. So I'm guilty of that too. But I kind of have a flair for what she writes by the tone she sets. And so that's what you're trying to do with your books. Okay. Search for BookBrush on YouTube and you'll find videos on how to make graphics. Watch Sandra Torres videos. Okay, good tip. So Alessandra Torres videos, and she talks about BookBrush, which I have not used, but that sounds like something I should definitely look at and try. I'm always searching for new stuff for people. Like I loved this 3D book cover thing. It was really this one right here. This is so so good. It's the best one I found yet. And it gives you all these different choices. I've actually used it for some of my Etsy products to show that my product is a digital product, right? It gives a very obvious flair that it's a digital product when I put it on, this sort of iPad-ish looking thing. All right. Okay, so that is it. That is all I've got for you all today. I hope this was really helpful. Is there any last questions before I go? I've got to drag my kids to, I think we're going to a museum today since it's raining. So we're going to do something inside. But any other questions? All right. If not, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to see 26 people live. I missed you all. I had a lot of fun on my trip, but I every time my watch beeped and reminded me I had my YouTube channel, I was like, oh, I'm glad I got it set up to go out to you all. But I kind of miss chatting with everybody because this is my passion. I have a lot of other businesses I run. I have my kids. I have 2 other businesses I run, but I love low content publishing. I love publishing. I love all of it. I love learning about it. I love learning from other people, learning new things, researching, Google, YouTube. I love it all. It's a lot of fun for me. So I will see you all next week live. I have some cool stuff coming up of milestones in my business that I was really excited. I'm going to share those with you, and let me know if you guys have comments, questions here or in my Facebook group. And that's it. I will talk to you all next week. Bye. If I can figure out where to end the broadcast.